Hello everyone, my name is C.Senthilkumar, Professor, Department of MCA, Erode, Senguther Engineering College, Perundurai, Erode. So here we are going to see about the OSI model. Okay, start with the OSI model. I would like to say a few things about the computer networks. Right, computer network is collection of computers connected together. Once the networks is established, in the sense the lot of computers are connected together, and we can easily sharing the informations and sharing the resources and whatever we want, right? So here computer network is called as interconnected collection of autonomous computers. Okay, so example, internet, right? Internet is called as network of network, globally connected. Once the we can use the internet in the sense easily sharing and retrieving the information all over the world. Okay, so here the public internet versus private internet, right? Private intranet, public internet in the sense the www connected globally in the all over the world, and private intranet especially used by the some of the organizations. Okay, by the local purpose, intranet is used. Okay, whatever the communications made in the inside the institution or inside the organizations, we need to establish the intranet, right? So this is some kind of network, right? www is a distributed systems on the top of the internet. So distributed system in the sense the suppose the servers are connected with the so many clients. So the time the server has the some of the important responsibilities, important rights and controls provided to the server. So whatever the request comes from the client, so service process something and the result returned back to the client. So these are all the important things carried over to the server. So that kind of things are easily provided by the distributed systems. Then advantages of network in the sense that is resource sharing, that easily sharing the hardware, software and any other informations, and providing communications medium, that is called as email and video conferencing. So doing business electrically. Nowadays we are having internet, based on the internet we can do a lot of business, right? That is called as business to business and business to consumers and all. So nowadays over the internet so many e-commerce applications are running, right? So whatever the applications running over the internet is called web applications. So that kind of advanced web applications is based upon the e-commerce applications, right? Here that is the network with two clients and one servers. Two client machines, this is a client machine 1, this is a client machine 2, that is connected over the network with the servers, right? Some of the time the client wants some of the information from server. In the sense first request is made, it is goes over the network, and finally the result comes from the servers. Okay, these are all the goals of networks for companies: resource sharing, high reliability, saving money, scalability, communication medium for separated employees. So a lot of advantages by using the network, especially companies and all, right? So now let's start with the OSI model. I already said OSI model is important, right? It is established in the 1947. This is called as International Standard Organizations, ISO. So this is called as a multinational body which is to be dedicatedly working and worldwide agreement on the international standards, right? So this is especially the important and dedicated standards should be provided, which is introduced in the year of 1970s, right? Then OSI model is called as open system interconnection. This is called as the reference model for how the application is communicated over the network. Suppose machine A wishes to communicate to machine B, in the sense that time machine A running with the Windows operating system and a machine B running with the other operating system, Mac OS or Linux OS. So that time the communication is made a very proper way. So that kind of helps, and that kind of references, that kind of messages and all passed from machine to machine B. So these are all the intermediate communication is necessary. So that kind of things are easily made by the OSI reference model, right? So here ISO is called as the organization and OSI is the model. Okay, here we are having 7 layers. start with the physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. Based on that, all the communication is made by these kind of 7 layers only. Okay. This is this slide shows us the interaction between the layers in the OSI model. Here we are having two devices, right? Device A and device B. Suppose some of the circumstances, the device A wish to communicate to device B. In the sense, this is the interaction between the layers. Machine device A has the 7 layers and device B has the 7 layers. So these are all the 7 layers is used to help the communication between the two machines. So the two different machines of the same layer is called as the protocol. So protocol is called as the rules and regulations is framed, right? How the communication is passed, then how the communication is retrieved, so and all the things is made by the protocols. This is called as application layer. This is another machine application layer. This is called as peer-to-peer protocol. That is the 7th layer, right? Then the same machine in between two layers is called as the interface, right? The interface is a service provided to the next layers, and suppose here the application layer provides some of the services to the person layer. In the sense, the intermediately that kind of interface is much more important, right? So these are all the 7 layers is plays a vital role. Okay, this is the layers in the OSI model, right? Topic discussed in this section is called as these are all the 7 layers. There is physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, and presentation layer and application layer. Okay, especially the physical layer is called as this is a first layer which is used to transferring the low level information called as bits. Okay, zeros and ones, which is transferring the some of the physical medium from one layer to another layer, from one machine to another machine. Okay, the physical layer is responsible for movements of individual bits from one node to another node. So this is the important responsibility of the physical layer. Next, we start with the data link layer, right? Data link layer is called as the second layer of the OSI model. Especially this layer provides the physical addressing, right? The logical addressing is take place of the network layer, right? Especially the IP address. So I will tell you the next slides. Okay, IP address is much more important. While the communicating the machines over the network, in the sense they based on the IP address only the machines should be communicated, right? Physical addressing is important. This is called as the MAC address. So MAC address is placed in the Ethernet card. So it is a 12-digit hexadecimal code. So each and every communication is based on the MAC address, right? Suppose we wish to send data packets and frames, in the sense data is sent from one machine to another machine, means that is based on the purely based on the MAC address. Without MAC address, we not able to send any kind of messages from one to another, right? This is the some of the important things of the data link layer. They actually service received from the network layer and service provided to the physical layer. This is the important things. Okay. The data link layer is responsible for moving frames one hop to another hop. That is, especially data link layer takes over the error control and flow control and all other operations made by the data link layer, right? Next, network layer. Network layer is called as very important layer which plays a vital role, which is inside the OSI model. Especially logical addressing, routing, and path determination, right? Logical addressing is called as the IP address, which is managed by the network layer, and the routing is called as the it is placed on the IP address, and whatever the information comes from the some of the machines, it is properly allocated, right? It is properly allocated to the destination machines, right? So routing is important, how the information is comes and how it is passed to the over the network. So everything is made by the routing, right? So path determination is properly set a path, some of the critical path, in the sense so many paths are available in between two machines is called as the best path should be selected, and it is based on that path only the message should be transferred from one to another. This is called as network layer. So it is service receives from the transport layer and do something. It is packets are sent to the data link layer, right? So network layer is responsible for the delivery of the individual packets from source host to the destination host. Next we enter into the transport layer. Okay, transport layer is a very important layer. It is managing the transport from one to another, right? It is main important task carried out by the transport layer is called as the segmentation, flow control, error control, and connection oriented and connectionless services, right? So these are all the important things carry over by the transport layer. So it is service receives from the session layers, and it is service provided to the next network layer. Okay, the transport layer is responsible for the delivery of the messages from one process to another process. Okay, next we enter into the session layer. Session layer is establishing the sessions, which plays an important role. Then especially the session layer is managing the authorization and authentication and managing the sessions. These are all the things carried over by the session layers. Okay, so here we are having some of the images and text, and it is transferring from one machine to the server. Okay, it is text and messages transfer, and it is stored into separately. That is called as image file and text file. So once the session is established in this sense, then finally the entire route is over, means the session will be closed. So these are all the terms are carried over by the session layer, right? Session layer is called as service takes from the presentation layer and the service provided to transport layer. Okay, session layer is responsible for dialog control and synchronization purposes. Next, presentation layer. So this is called as the top of the layer. Next by the application layer. Okay, it is service takes from the application layer and used by the some of the tasks, that is called as data encryption, data compression. Then another intermediate process is made by the presentation layers, and it is service provided to the session layer. Okay, suppose the big data are comprised into the some of the small data, and it is managed by the data encryption and decryption. Suppose the source machine take over the encryption. Based on the encryption only data is sent to the physical medium, and finally the destination machine is receiving the data, that is decrypted. So these kind of things carry out by the presentation layer. So these are all the things carry out by the presentation layer, right? This is the translation, translation and data compression and encryption and decryption. So these are all the things carry out by the presentation layer. Example, ASCII into EBT's DAC code. So especially this is the secure socket layer. So this is by in the presentation layer, so many important protocols has been working, right? Now, the presentation layer is responsible for translation and compression and data encryption. So this is the main task. Next, the application layer. This is the top of the layer, especially managing the network applications, right? Machine A and machine B communicated in the particular time, in the sense the manage the higher level network applications with the user, right? Then HTTP, HTTPS and FTP, NFS and FMTP, DCP, DHCP. So these are all the important protocols handled by the application layer. Based on the protocols only, the entire things to be carried over, right? Then file transfer purpose, that is FTP file transfer protocol to be used. Web surfing, this is called as HTTP or HTTPS. The S is called as secure purpose. Hypertext transfer protocol with a secure connection, right? So emails, managing the emails, that is called simple mail transfer protocol will take over, and all the things, right? Virtual terminals is called as the telnet. So these are all the importance of the application layers. So application layer plays a vital role, okay, with the user perspective. So this is called as the top of the layer, right? So especially managing the browsers and all. So Skype communication, so while the video conferencing and all, that times the managing this computer utilities in a very perfect manner. That is called the application layer. Okay, this is the application layer. It is human or service request from the user, that is called as human or program. Then finally it take into the next stage and do something, then service provide to the presentation layer. This is the application layer is responsible for providing services to the users. Okay, these are all the important summary of the layers. By using all the 7 layers will plays vital role. Okay, thank you.